Those of you on here saying that you're just gonna go take carts from people when they push them out of the store that paid for them with their hard-earned money that they worked their ass off for, you're just gonna go steal their carts? Ah! I wish a bitch would. I wish a bitch would try me. Y'all might want to watch which ones you go try to steal from, because I swear to Jesus, oh baby Jesus, you try to take from me, my Smith & Wesson will take from you.
Well, you grabbed my shopping cart full of groceries that I bought and paid for with my money. You're going to hear two sounds. There's going to be three sounds. Maybe. There's certainly going to be two sounds. The first sound you're going to hear is me saying, now, Han, that's a bad idea there. Better walk the on. If you don't walk the on, that'll be the next sound you hear. And the third sound, son, I'll hear it. You won't. No, sir. I'll hear it. And you won't. Now, people going to come back on this video and say, oh, you'd end somebody over a basket full of groceries? Yeah, I would.
So go with God when you decide to steal. Because if you come up to me, you will meet your goddamn maker real quick. I don't care if it's over $500 worth of groceries. I don't care if it's over $50 worth of groceries. Ain't nobody on this planet delusional enough to think that they're gonna come up to me and take from me and mine without meeting their goddamn maker.
42 million people are losing SNAP benefits on November 1st if nothing changes within the next few days. Some people online are saying that they're going to target regular folks in the parking lots that have baskets full of groceries. Now, this is probably the worst idea if you're stealing from the big companies. But if you're going to target people who you don't know and you don't know what they're armed with or what they're capable of, that is a totally different animal. At least the stores cannot physically do anything to you. They can call the cops, they can hold you in a room until the cops get there, but they're not going to be able to do what other people may be able to do if you're attacking them in a parking lot. Now, if you are someone who's planning on stealing from the store, stealing from people, I recommend you don't do that.
Hey, for all you brave souls on here that are saying, well, if your food stamps don't hit November, you're just gonna go steal it. You're just gonna go take what's yours. I mean, basically you're already stealing because I don't condone or consent to give you mine, but you get it anyways. So you're already profiting off stolen goods. So go to the store, take what you want. Okay, do what you need to do and see what security does or doesn't do to stop you. But I will tell you this. Those of you on here saying that you're just gonna go take carts from people when they push them out of the store that paid for them with their hard-earned money that they worked their ass off for, you're just gonna go steal their carts? Ah! I wish a bitch would. I wish a bitch would try me. Y'all might want to watch which ones you go try to steal from, because I swear to Jesus, oh baby Jesus, you try to take from me, my Smith & Wesson will take from you. I will teach you a lesson. Sure the will. And guess what? Someone else is going to be feeding your babies for sure, because it sure the ain't going to be you. You might want to think about it before you try it. Use some of this if you have it, which I don't think you do, but just use a little bit and then get, because it ain't happening. Oh my.
So you're going to steal my basket full of groceries after I leave the store? Yeah, I don't think so there, Han. Now, I've seen a lot of videos talking about how people's EBT is getting cut off, and so they're going to be stealing groceries straight out of the store. But I've also seen a lot of videos talking about how people are going to grab baskets whenever they come out of the store. That way they're not stealing from the store, they're stealing from an individual. Well, you grabbed my shopping cart full of groceries that I bought and paid for with my money. You're going to hear two sounds. There's going to be three sounds. Maybe. There's certainly going to be two sounds. The first sound you're going to hear is me saying, now, Han, that's a bad idea there. Better walk the on. If you don't walk the on, that'll be the next sound you hear. And the third sound, son, I'll hear it. You won't. No, sir. I'll hear it. And you won't. Now, people going to come back on this video and say, oh, you'd end somebody over a basket full of groceries? Yeah, I would. You damn right. Because that person that's deciding to steal from me, they've already decided that that's what their life is worth. Well, they made that decision. They made that choice. You don't fuck around and find out.
If you have not went to go get you a lot of food from the grocery store, you are in high risk of going to the grocery store while everyone and their mama going there to loot the damn stores. And now people saying that they will start waiting for people to leave the grocery store with their carts full of food, going to their car, then taking their food. Let me tell you something, man. If you are not strapped when you go into these grocery store, you are just an easy target. And God forbid, if you dudes allow your girlfriend, your mama, your sister, your aunties, all the women in your family to go to the store by themselves, you are not a good person at all. In fact, all women that know that they can't handle this type of stress, stay at the house. Do not act like you're tough. Let the grown-ass men go to the grocery store and get the food. Whatever you need, your husband, your boyfriend, your brother will give you what you want from the store. Do not go to the damn store without packing.
So word on the street is they're telling women not to go to the stores in November because a whole bunch of lowlifes are going to go terrorizing and stealing and looting. And yes, I'm calling you a lowlife because if that's your solution to resolving things, then yes, that's lowlife energy going around just being ghetto. So yeah, personally, I'm not trying to get into any of that mess. So I'm going to try not to go to the store. But if I do have to go to the store, let me tell you something. If you're in the state of Texas, I would think twice before running and ambushing a mother, because a lot of us, we like to carry our little BFF Ninas in our purse, and you don't want to lose your life over a can of beans. If we feel like you're putting us in danger, we have the right to protect ourselves. Now, would I ever want to do that over some food? Heck no. But you know, who's to say? We don't know. In the moment, we don't know what else you're capable of. So yes, we have the right to defend ourselves. So like I said, do not lose your life over a can of beans. I don't know what y'all are thinking. It's just not worth it. The only thing you're gonna get out of it is you're gonna go to jail over some food, or if you run into someone who knows their rights in Texas of how to protect themselves, then you're gonna pick the wrong one. So it's just not worth it. This is the time where if you got a job, ask them if you can do some overtime. And if you don't got a job, it's time to look for a job. There is other solutions. Please be wise. Now, if you're someone who's in that position and you truly, truly are, leave your Cash App in my comments. And if you're in the position to bless someone, use your discernment, pray about it, and see if God leads you to give. Anyways, my heart does go out to the people who are going to have a hard time right now, and I pray that God makes a way.
So the people who are saying they're going to start stealing the food if their food stamps don't hit for November, I can't even say I blame you. I have a family. I have people I have to take care of. Part of me gets it. All I have to say to you is to the people saying they're going to be coming up taking people's carts out of the parking lot, you better choose wisely. Your kids could end up in foster care. That's all I'm going to say.
And people are going to start, I'm telling you, this is going to be a thing. People are going to start, instead of stealing groceries from the stores, they're going to start watching people go to their cars. And they're going to take all of their groceries. And you know what the store going to do? Not our problem. Not our business. It's outside the store. They didn't do it in the store. It's not our property. Call 911. Call the authorities. Make a report. They're going to leave your ass for dead. And people are really going to be stealing people carts of groceries out of the grocery parking lot. I'm telling you. It seems like it's headed that way. Now, what other choices are people going to have to find food to eat? Because people about to be out here struggling. They about to be out here bad. So do you really think they're going to look at you with all these groceries, packing it in your car, about to go home and feed your family from the, hard-earned money that you made from working your job that afforded you the affordability to buy those groceries? They ain't going to give They ain't going to care. They going to snatch them bags up out your hand and be like, I wish you would. And some just might lose their for it. And it ain't worth it. They need them groceries that bad, let them have them.
The EBT folks say they're going to start robbing. And all I have to say is, go with God when you make that decision. 29 states in the United States do not require a permit to conceal carry. And a lot of states have open carry laws that require no permit, no nothing. So go with God when you decide to steal. Because if you come up to me, you will meet your goddamn maker real quick. I don't care if it's over $500 worth of groceries. I don't care if it's over $50 worth of groceries. Ain't nobody on this planet delusional enough to think that they're gonna come up to me and take from me and mine without meeting their goddamn maker. So go with God when you make that decision, because I will send you straight to...
I heard they cutting off the food stamps on November 1st. Y'all worrying about the people stealing out the stores? No, worry about your cart. While you putting your groceries up inside your vehicle, they take your whole cart. Bitch, you got me f***ed up. You got me all the way f***ed up. Imagine you coming out with 2-3 carts. You empty out that first cart, you turn around and your second cart of groceries gone. I ain't froze. I'm just making sure you paying attention. I don't play about my food at all. Be careful out here.
This message is to all of you idiots that are going around saying that you are going to run up on people in parking lots as they're coming out of stores, as they're loading their cars, to steal their groceries because you feel like you are owed something. Let me kind of just break it down to you like this. If you care about your kids and your family, I wouldn't be as drastic and as selfish as you're saying you're going to be, because your kids are going to probably end up in foster care. We don't live in a society where you could just do that and get away with it. The majority of people carry. And if you think that you're going to run up on somebody and steal their groceries and potentially target elderly people, even people who are not the ones being robbed are not going to tolerate that. So y'all are going to f*** around and you're going to find out. Don't be as big an idiot as you sound like.
Americans, y'all need to be careful this weekend. Let me explain why. I don't know if you've noticed, but America is a powder keg right now, and pretty much all of us are holding the match. We're about armpit deep in a government shutdown right now. There's a bunch of federal workers not getting paid, and a bunch of people are about to lose EBT. Now, if EBT goes away this weekend, a lot of people have said that they're going to go raid their local stores and maybe even their neighbors' homes. They're going to feed their babies one way or another because that's America's responsibility. The taxpayers' responsibility is to take care of them, and if they're not going to do that through EBT, they're going to do that by donating their own stuff. That's the general sentiment. This weekend, we're going to have a ton of Americans that are going to go absolutely ballistic in the streets. What this means for you is, one, you might want to go do your grocery shopping. Unfortunately, I hate to be that guy and incite panic buying, but you might want to get some stuff. Don't go clear out the shelves, but make sure that you have food for the next week or two until this boils over. Now, if there's mass civil unrest this weekend, government responses are going to be a little bit slow because of, the government shutdown. What this means is we're in a period of very heightened vulnerability, and there's going to be a lot of bad actors out there on the streets taking advantage of it. You need to be very, very careful of where you go and when you go if this starts to pop off. If you see that EBT is actually getting canceled, you might want to, stay home for a little bit. It could end up being nothing, but it could end up being the start. All I'm saying is be aware. This is a very dynamic environment, and you need to know what is happening around you. I love you. Pay attention. Be blessed.
Shopping done before November 1st. If the government does stay shut down and 40 million people loses their SNAP benefits, it's going to get bad. People are talking about looting stores and causing chaos. If you normally get food delivered to your house from the grocery stores, I would not do that this month, because there's a chance that that person might take your food. If you go grocery shopping in the stores in the United States of America on November 1st, and if the government does stay shut down, you should probably go with someone. and go during the day. Do not go when it gets dark out. If the government stays shut down, it's probably going to get really bad. Taking food away from 40 million people. Use precaution, and there might even be people in parking lots waiting for people to walk out of the stores with buggies of food. Why are we still paying taxes if they're willing to let 40 million people in the United States go hungry?
Let me tell y'all something. Those that's talking about going out there making them videos, talking about y'all gonna rob them people's stores because they done cut them SNAP benefits. Let me tell you something. You go out there, you gonna give them folks every legal right to bop you across your head. Baby, they're gonna be justified in bopping you across your head. You better learn how to cook some quick, cheap, easy meals. You could take some tuna, some cream of mushroom, peas, and throw some noodles in it. You want to get fancy, crumble some crackers on the top. You got tuna casserole. You can take you some beans. I don't care if it's black bean, pinto beans. If you don't know how to make them homemade, you can buy them in a can from the Dollar Tree with some rice, baby, and you got beans and rice. Get you some cornmeal, honey, a little bit of oil, make some hot skillet cornbread. And you can take some peanut butter with some jelly and make a sandwich, grilled cheese with some bread, honey, and get your tomato soup. You got a meal, and sit down somewhere. Don't go out in them streets because they gonna bop y'all in the head. Don't do it.
To the grocery store right now, and I thought it would be a good time to tell you guys about how on November 1st, if they stop SNAP benefits, how it's going to affect you whether you're on food stamps or not. So the USDA has come out and made a statement that because of the government shutdown on November 1st, they are going to have insufficient funds to put towards the SNAP. So what this means is that 42 million Americans will not have their food stamps starting November 1st. Let's put this into a little bit of perspective. November 1st, there are going to be 42 million people that cannot afford to go to the grocery store and buy food, right? Grocery stores are going to lose millions of dollars. By the way, I just bought vanilla extract and milk. It cost me $16.57. Wow. When 42 million people are not spending their money at the grocery store because they're having to go to soup kitchens or, food pantries, who's going to lose money? Do we think they're just going to be okay with that? Of course not. They can't cut into their bottom line, so what are they going to do? They're going to jack up the prices. They're going to lay people off. They're going to cut people's hours. They're going to not order as many shipments of food. Who brings the food to the grocery stores? Truck drivers? They're not going to have the loads that they did before because the demand is down. Where do the trucks get the products? At distribution centers? So distribution centers won't need the same amount of workers. They won't need people there every day. They'll probably let people go home early, stay home, maybe lay people off. What about the farmers that have all this food to move and nowhere to send it? So they're just going to be sitting on stockpiles of food, a lot of it perishable, that has nowhere to go. This is going to be a massive ripple that goes out and affects multiple people across multiple facets of this chain. Because the people at the top are not going to lose money. They're going to make sure of that. And how many times has something gone up and then come back down when things got better? That doesn't happen. So when those grocery prices go up 1%, 2%, 3%, they're already up 3% this year. When they go up even more, they're going to stay there. They're not going to bring them back down when everything settles. So we remember when the grocery prices went up the first time, that would have been when all the minimum wages went up because they said we need to pay people more so that they can actually afford to live. And as we suspected, that was reflected in the increase in grocery prices. Really, food prices across the board. Also, just for reference, I looked it up. In 2024, the average SNAP benefit per person was $187. I don't know if you've been to a grocery store in the last year. $187 doesn't go very far. But that was $187 that was getting spent at the grocery store that is no longer going to be getting spent there for 42 million people.
And these egotistical maniacs in Washington can't figure out how to bypass the government shutdown, which means desperate times are going to equal desperate measures. And as I'm scrolling through TikTok and watching what people are saying, there's a trend going on that people are going to do whatever they have to do to feed their families, which would include stealing from your grocery cart the second you leave the store. This is not a joke. This is extremely serious. To the husbands out there that are working 9 to 5 and you're gone all day and you have your woman at home, or she's a housewife or taking care of the family, and part of her job is going out there and going grocery shopping, you must have a conversation with her now that she must stay smart, she must stay vigilant, She must be aware of her surroundings. My suggestion at this time is small purchases only, meaning until further notice, the days of loading up a grocery cart of hundreds and hundreds of dollars of food has now have to come to an end until this gets sorted out. They are going to look for easy victims. They're going to look either for single moms, they're going to look for mothers with your children. This is serious. This is not fear-mongering. This is not a joke. As my job as an influencer on TikTok, I am watching the trend of people's comments, and this looks like there's about to be a desperation that's going to kick in as people are very scared that they are not going to be able to eat. To the single mommies out there that don't have a man in your life, do whatever you have to do to avoid bringing your children to the grocery store. As sick as this sounds, but this is reality right now. You want to do everything you can to keep your children out of harm's way and any confrontation with another hungry mommy out there that is trying to feed their children. Hopefully that this government shutdown will be coming to an end soon. Hopefully the government will be back in business by the time this weekend comes, so this trend never comes to fruition.
Just please stay safe out there, and hopefully they open up the government soon. Now, if you are someone who's planning on stealing from the store, stealing from people, I recommend you don't do that, because this is a temporary thing. The government will open back up hopefully soon. You don't want to make a permanent decision for yourself over something that is temporary. All right, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.